This tutorial is to feel the nexus, the meeting point between yoga and art, creativity and meditation. Because drawing from life is a powerful way to feel the unifying field between heart, hand, and head. And especially today, because we are going to be drawing from none other than our own beautiful body, which of course is confronting and challenging and an amazing invitation for us to get to know ourselves. So what you'll need is a simple sketch pad or even some A4 pieces of paper, a pencil, a rubber, optional, you definitely don't need it, but if you feel the safety of having one close by, it can help. In regards to the pencils, I recommend also not using an HB pencil. If you have B or 2B, a little bit softer, it would be better. And I'd love for you to have your materials exactly in front of you so that we can center and anchor into a meditation together first. So setting yourself up, seated with your paper, your pencil in front of you, and just take a moment to arrive in your seat. You can just return your hands to your own body. They can even rest on the flesh of your thighs or in your lap. And just take a few moments to close down your eyes. It's super important, I feel, before we begin any artistic endeavor or creative exercise to empty the mind of expectation, to empty our attachment to what we want or think something should look like. The whole purpose of this pursuit, of this tutorial, of these exercises is actually nothing to do with what it's going to look like and everything to do with the experience of creating an expression and what that feels like to connect our heart with our mind and to express pure feeling through the hand. And this is something that I believe as adults we have forgotten about, or that we don't allow ourselves to explore for fear of being told that it's silly or it's going to look bad or wrong. So allow yourself to feel that this practice is for you. There is nothing performative about this, that you don't have to show it to anyone. If you really want, you can scrunch up the piece of paper after. But can you allow yourself the privilege, the opportunity to savor the moment-to-moment unfolding of making marks, making meaningful marks in the world, of putting your unique imprint, blueprint on paper and watching life forms, I believe, unfold in front of you. For me, that's the most satisfying effect of creating art, is participating in life form, creating. So with that intention to show up completely empty, to let go any expectation or nerves that you're going to get it wrong, can we open up instead to this feeling of play? A feeling of play and lightness as you descend into really your inner artistry, as we've been exploring through every single one of these embodiment classes, that this is a parallel practice of connecting to the breath waves, of the natural painting and washing and the watercolor texture of your breath strokes, of all of the texture and color and vision that you have cooked up for you, by you, through the embodiment classes. And now we get to play with using all of that material in the outer world, on canvas, on paper. And so, as we summon up this artist vision, this awareness born of awe, of mystery, of beauty, of the whole spectrum, full spectrum, of embracing light and shadow, of the mountains and the valleys, I'm going to invite you to transfigure yourself. And this is a really powerful yogic tantric process of realizing the essence of yourself, actually, of the wholeness, the completeness of who you really are. So I'll invite you to slowly just start to let light filter back in through your eyes. And there's this sense of keeping the backs of your eyes open, of gazing really from your heart, as you allow your eyelids to softly open, to gaze down at your left hand. To gaze down at your left hand, and your left hand can be resting comfortably on your leg or on the ground, and without needing to change it or modify it. So I will note your left hand or your non-dominant hand. And gazing from your heart, as if you were gazing at a newborn baby. What do you notice? As if it were the first time that you were witnessing, really, these hands of ours are so miraculous. What they are capable of doing, the intelligence, the artistry, the technology. Can you just for now marvel at the beauty and the intelligence and the architecture of these fingers? Can you analyze and study the creases, the fingerprints, these amazing DNA blueprints for life that are so unique to you? Maybe it's for the first time ever. Can you truly get up close and personal with this incredible tool and vessel of expression that is your hand? Can you conjure up love for your hand and kind of drop the corny radar and see if actually you can invoke that true feeling of being in absolute wonder and awe of the dexterity, of the curiosity, of the power, the strength of this amazing hand. And so this is really the artist's vision, is really just seeing the beauty even in the flaws, in the scars, in the age, in the weatheredness, and feeling that really deep prema, which is like the divine love, the unconditional love. Allow your eyes to close back down and to feel what you feel in your heart. And instead of seeing now with your outer eyes, I'm going to invite you to use your dominant hand, so for me that's my right hand, to start to touch and explore my left hand. And this might seem silly, but the effect of this is actually super powerful. And the best analogy I feel is as if your left hand were this new life form, like a newborn baby. Can your right hand start to explore all of the edges, all the curves and creases, the folds, the fabric, the contrast in temperature, in texture, in density between your fingernail, the cuticle, between the flesh of your palm, the back of your hand. Can you feel the metta, this same sense of loving kindness that we can give and receive to ourselves through our touch? And this is important because this translates directly into how we relate to ourselves and, of course, how we then express. And so allow your breath to be rhythmic and smooth and kind of soften the edges of your body, soften the boundary of your skin so that you can simultaneously receive the touch. As much as you are touching, can you allow yourself to be touched? The giver and the receiver of form, the creator and the creatrix. And from here, keep your eyes closed. So the exercises that we'll be moving into is specifically nothing to do with likeness. Every exercise I'm going to invite you into is about pure feeling. It's about creating from bhavana, which is really a method of thinking and contemplation from the heart. So allow your left hand or your non-dominant hand to just fall down to your leg or to the earth and let it land in any shape. And with your dominant hand, keeping your eyes closed, you can kind of sense around, or if you need to kind of peek open, sense around for where your sketch pad or your piece of paper is, and pick up your pencil in your right hand. So obviously you can't see your hand, but you've spent some time analyzing it. And you're not feeling your hand, but you've had a good experience of the edges, the textures, even a sense of light and shadow. And can you remember that really powerful somatic verb? To remember is like to get back in touch with who you are and how you feel. With your outer eyes closed, the backs of your eyes are still open. From the backs of your eyes, can you go inside, mapping through your body to place your awareness, to summon the totality of your presence, to marinate and merge your attention with your left hand. With your right hand, holding your pencil really lightly and loosely. So obviously this is not going to translate to looking like a hand in the way that you think it looks like. It's going to translate to the way your hand feels. It's going to be a short 1 or 2 minute playtime experimentation. And the first time your pencil touches the paper, just trust the free flow. As you just start to put pencil to paper, to make marks of meaning from your heart. As you start to draw what you feel, just feel no attachment to the outcome. Can you actually enjoy this process of creating without any outcome, without any agenda, as you continue to simply feel into your left hand as you express with your right hand, unifying the left and the right sides of the brain, the heart, the mind, the body, the soul. Just playing, smiling from the inside for 10 more seconds, super quick, no attachment. Play, feel free, allow your right hand to just swish and swirl across the piece of paper. And stop. Put the pencil down. Remove your dominant hand, your right hand, and slowly, with that same compassion, with that same awe, mystery, wonder, excitement, open your eyes to marvel at what you have created. And just take a moment to observe. And notice if your mind goes straight to, oh my God, how ridiculous. That looks nothing like my hand, which is the way we're programmed. Action, reaction, make ourselves wrong, suppress, stop, deny, control. And instead, what would it be like to stay in that mode of just awe and mystery and potentially how beautiful, how expressive, how unique, how uniquely me. And then we clean the slate. Turn the piece of paper over or find another piece of paper and allow your hand to fall once again. Yeah, to rest on your leg, on the floor next to you. And another exercise, similar but different. This time, you're allowed to keep your eyes open, but you're not allowed to look at the piece of paper. So move that piece of paper out of your line of vision, yeah, and kind of get the sense of where its edges and borders are. But submerge your mind, your attention from the inside, and your outer seeing gaze now in your left hand. So the right hand is now, okay, eyes are open, but you're not looking at what you're doing, and really notice if you kind of want to cheat and just trust that the purpose of this is nothing to do with, again, what it looks like. And again, another 2 minutes. And as you map your mind, tracing through your left hand and your outer attention also tracing, just notice how there's this amazing opportunity for our hand that's in the drawing mode to follow and to feel along with you and really allow that right hand to be free. So I'm actually holding my pencil not the way that I write. I'm holding it loosely, yeah, from the tip of the pencil so that there's some freedom and flow. And so that I don't contract, so that my belly can stay open. And allow yourself to enjoy following, again, the mountains, the valleys. So the contours also of the hand, which means not just the outline, but how can you draw shadow where you see it without there being a right way or a wrong way? Just your way. I'm noticing the creases, the points where the fingertips cross over perhaps, or the bases of the fingers join. Noticing the shadows that casts on the other side of the hand. Just getting out of the linear mode and really enjoying all the circles, the curves of our perfectly imperfect body, just like nature. So just 10 more seconds or so. Just playing, just gazing with this really benevolent, loving, curious gaze as you allow your drawing hand to just express and to be free to map and draw and caress the page. Last couple of seconds. Stop. Pencil down. And lean back, so get the global macrocosmic vision to admire what you have just created. To actually realize that what you've created is a very unique, interpretive, expressive, maybe abstract piece of art, but it has meaning and it has feeling. Very different mode to the way we often go about creating. Yeah? Allow this just to be flow, like art for art's sake. And again, we clean the slate, like the Buddhist monks in the monastery. You wipe the mandala clean, turn over the piece of paper. So you can keep your eyes open for this next time, and you're allowed to look at the piece of paper, and you're allowed to look at your hand, but there's one other catch. You're not allowed to lift the pencil from the paper. This is one of my favorite exercises. So a continuous line drawing. Yeah, and you'll feel there'll be an urge to want to lift up, to kind of step back, to analyze, but just trust. The point of this is all about rhythm and to unhook the mind from getting ahead and to just stay immersed in the moment. So find another gesture, another shape with your hand, something that feels comfortable. And allow your right hand or your hand with the pencil to hit the page. And for the next 2 minutes, it's not going to leave the piece of paper. Similarly, really relax with that right hand or the hand drawing. Just start to map and trace and notice the difference now, wow, as you start to look down at your piece of paper as you draw, to marvel actually at what you're capable of. And to start to enjoy perhaps a different way to drawing that you may be used to, or maybe the way that you think drawing is, that you're not good at it, that it has to look perfect. And can we stay in this really, the artistic vision of interpretation, of enjoyment in the process of flow, and that you don't have to show anyone what it looks like. And don't let your piece of paper and the pencil ever lose contact. So there's just a flow, just a flow. And that means even if you want to draw the contours of the hand and the knuckles, and even if you want to, if proportion feels a little strange, you can always go back and add layers. And just feel the flow, feel the natural flow, the current of the breath, that inspiration of the breath, of the life force. And just enjoy reveling in you, playing with marks of meaning, with texture, with tone, with shadow, with different line. Don't forget about the nails, the cuticles. 20 seconds left of Obviously, I'm not even timing, just a feeling of flow. And notice if the A-type personality in you wants to go super slow and meticulously and just trust that there'll be the time for that. But if for now you can just stay in this free flow. And stop. Pencil down. And notice if you go into the judgmental mind straight away. Notice if you want to interpret or scrunch it up immediately, and can you just rest back? Can you just lean back and your human kind of feel held by your being? As you admire, once again, your inner artistry and what you are capable of. So much more than we think. And then no attachment. Fresh piece of paper. The next exercise I would love for you to play with is to change hands. This is obviously an amazing opportunity for us to recreate new neural pathways by using the non-dominant hand. So for me, my left hand, which connects to the right hemisphere of the brain and vice versa, is going to access different information. So switch it across. Pencil in your non-dominant hand and place my right hand, I'm going to place down and maybe a different shape, whether it's contracted or more open. I'm going to do a kind of version of a fist. So again, you're allowed to look at both paper and your hand. You're allowed to take the pencil off the paper this time, but don't get attached. I mean, for me, I don't even know how to hold a pencil in my left hand. So that's the point. Allow the wrist to be mobile and the hand to be free, so that actually we're moving the whole arm. We're not just using the fingertips, we're using the whole body actually. So 2 minutes. Enjoy. Enjoy, and just notice how oh my God, the awkwardness makes you want to giggle and laugh straight away. And there's a combination between taking it seriously in the way that we're endlessly fascinated, but there's not the seriousness that shuts us down and that contracts us. Instead, it's like, wow, how amazing does this feel? How weird, how remarkable, how beautiful. So staying open to receive all of, the thought bubbles, the memories. And of course, the point is not to make it look like anything. Just to stay purely in the mode of feeling. Of connecting hand to heart. So we obviously feel something deeply about this subject matter. And so we're going to have an emotional response. And the mind, of course, which is interpreting all of the data. Just another minute or so more. Notice if your left hand or the drawing hand has kind of shut down and frozen and clamped up, or your breath is shortened. Relax. Play. Last 10 seconds. Don't forget the knuckles, little fingernails. Pencil down. I know there's often the feeling of no, but I'm not finished. I want to keep going. You will have infinite time to play after this. I just want to invite you into these loosening exercises. And of course, from here, you have the invitation to play with any which one of those in combination. If you would like to do a study of your hand and to hold your pencil in your dominant hand, of course, you don't even have to use your hand. You can do any body part. I love drawing my feet. Of course, you can use a mirror, and you can reflect back and draw your own eye or your own face. Of course, if you have a friend to play with also, all of these loosening, quick exercises can be translated to any subject matter. if you would like to play with a study of using your dominant hand, of looking at the paper, of looking at the subject, of course you can. But apply all of the same methodology, all of the same philosophy to even that. Notice when the analytical mind starts to reject or deny, or you want to scrunch it up, and just stay with the flow. Stay with the flow. And maybe even for the first one, it's just a 10-minute study. I would love to see what you create. I would love to see or hear your feedback. So please get in touch to share. I hope you enjoy. I hope you get so much out of getting back in touch with you. Thank you for your time. Namaste.